welcome back to the plant floor. My name is Sierra. I am the member of the plant team here, and today we're going to talk about a really cool species of plant. We're going to be talking about bromeliads. So bromeliads are a species of epiphytic plant that you can find in Central and South America. Now when I say a plant is an epiphyte, that means it grows attached to other plants. So let's take a look at one here. Let's do these guys. So when I say they attach to the epiphyte, it means they do not use their roots to draw in nutrients. Instead, they'll actually draw their nutrients in using their leaves, and bromeliads actually have a special little superpower almost. They can actually hold water in their center cups there. So this is their central rosette, and we will call this a little well, but I'm just gonna call it a little cup. And they will keep water in there. So there's close to about 3,000 different species of bromeliads that you can find in South America. Lots of them live down in the tropics. They like to live clustered up to the canopy so they can be as close to the light as possible. Sometimes you can find them in the subtropics and around Florida too. So here at Josh's Frogs, we have around 50 or so different species of bromeliads available. Most of those species are going to be from the family NeoBrahms, or NeoBrahms for short. So I have a few of our different NeoBrahms that we offer, and I want to show off some of our most popular ones. So one of the most popular is this guy here. This is a fireball NeoBrahms. So fireballs are actually bought a lot of times so they can get this really bright red color, which they get the more sunlight they're exposed to. This one is also a fireball Brahm, but it's been dialed back a little bit because it hasn't been exposed to as much light. So as you expose them to more, they start to get more color, and also sometimes dependent on their life phase, they'll have different colors. Let's put these guys back here. Another really popular bromeliad are these guys here. And they're popular for their patterns that they have on them. These guys, the cultivars, get really fun little names. This cultivar here is called More Peppa Please, and this one here is El Gato. So really cool thing about these is that have these fun patterns. The More Peppa Please has these little speckles. You can find that a lot on the NeoBrahms. And the El Gato is a mix of the Tigradina, and so it has these little tiger stripes. Pretty cool. Now, besides these like marbly colors, you can also get variegation on NeoBrahms. So this is a NeoBrahms Donger. So Dongers have variegation, and that is these cream color outlines on the leaf. And that is a spot where there is no chlorophyll, so it's gonna be this bright color. And just like the fireballs, more light is exposed to, it's gonna get this kind of purpley hue to it too. So these guys are favored for their nice light color, and the more light you give them, the more variation or variegation will appear. Now, a lot of times when you look at the NeoBrahms, they have these long, thin leaves. They will have serration on the edge of their leaf there, but sometimes they have different shaped leaves. So this is a NeoBrahm Jean Mackenzie, and it's a little petite Brahm. It's got these little flat leaves. These are good if you're growing or if you're producing like thumbnail dart frogs, or if you have any other tiny frogs that you want to put in a small vivarium, have something that's a bit more to scale. On the opposite end of that, if you want something that's a little bigger, we do also have bigger Brahms. So this is a NeoBrahms Cheers. And you can see that this is much larger, elongated leaves there. Still has the serrations, and it still will hold a decent amount of water. So if you have larger frogs that you're trying to home, this is really good for them. So there are some different, some other non-NeoBrahms Brahms that we also carry. This is one here. So this is also in the Bromeliad family. This is called Ananas comosus, and you might know it as a pineapple plant. So these are just little pineapples. They are a terrestrial Brahm. So as opposed to growing up in the air, these Brahms will actually grow down in the soil. So you see these guys are planted in soil. And after about a year or so, they'll actually fruit out a little pineapple. This is the Elite Gold variety. And they've been growing here for about 6 to 7 months. They probably have another 6 to 7 months to go before they actually fruit a pineapple. There are a few other varieties of Brahms that you have. We have the Varicias and the Bilbergias that will also sometimes carry, but for the most part, we're gonna have NeoBrahms. So there's a few different ways that you can use NeoBrahms in your tank. So you can plant them in your vivarium. You can also grow them as house plants. When they live in a vivarium, we can look over here. So this is a fully established dart frog tank. It has 2 little dudes living in there. And if you take a look inside, we're gonna try and open this up without letting anybody out. You can see that there is a NeoBrahm growing right there. It's just secured right into a little piece of cork. So that is one way that you can utilize Brahms, and they're very good for dart frogs because, like I mentioned earlier, they will hold water in their little cups there. Frogs will lay eggs, and those eggs will turn into tadpoles, and they can rear their tadpoles right in these cups. And when the tadpoles go through their metamorphosis, they can live there their whole life and then hop out as frogs. So it's beneficial for the frogs and it's beneficial for the plants because the plants will actually get nutrients as the frogs live inside their little wells there. But if you want to, you can also plant these as house plants terrestrially. So I've got a few of our mother plants here from our greenhouse. A mother plant is the main plant that we use. This is the one that we're going to use for propagation, or when she sends off pups, we'll use those for our Brahms here. So pup is when it sends off little offshoots and reproduces. We'll talk about those a little bit later. But if you look down here in the actual soil, it is a very light soil. So if you do plan on planting your Brahms in the soil, which you can do if you want to use them as house plants, you want to make sure you're using a very loose, coarse soil because they don't use their roots to absorb nutrients. They'll actually use their leaves to absorb nutrients. So you want to make sure the soil isn't holding water. You want a very loose soil. So the soil mix we use here, it's actually a 3-part mix, and it's 1 part potting soil. It's just a very light potting soil. You want to use 1 part perlite, and that's another inorganic material that will help water and air pass through. And then 1 part orchid bark. So this orchid bark here, you can use, it'll make the soil more coarse and help water and air pass through it. Because if you have soil that is very compact, it's going to trap moisture in here, and it will eventually cause rot to the plant. So you can get each of these individual ingredients separately, or you can buy them pre-mixed on our website under our Bromeliad soil. So let's come over here because there is another way you can use them, and that is as a mount. So these are our mounted Bromeliads. So these were actually grown in our greenhouse. You can see that they are secured here using sphagnum moss, and over time, over a few months, their little roots that they have down on the bottom, they'll use to anchor into the cork. Now this can take some time. You can do it yourself, but it will take maybe a few months or so for it to actually get in there. And in that time, you have to worry about your animals possibly knocking it off. So that's why we have some of these pre-mounted plants for you. And we have an assortment of different kinds, styles, and sizes to choose from. Some of them are mixed planters. This one has a cryptanthus on it, which is another cool Brahm. And like I showed before, you can either take these and adhere them directly into the back of your tank using glue, or you can take them and just stick them directly into the back of a foam mount if you have a vivarium like that. Now, as far as care goes for bromeliads, like I mentioned before, they don't use their roots to absorb nutrients. They're going to go through the leaves. So you're going to want to put water, make sure you regularly put water in the center of their cups there. You want to fill them out about a fourth of a way up to the top there during the growing season. If you're rearing tadpoles, you can put a little bit more in there. You want to make sure you don't go too far over, and you want to make sure you don't leave stagnant water sitting in the cup for a long period of time, because that will cause root rot. These guys are sensitive to hard water. They're sensitive to nutrients or extra nutrients in the water. So you want to make sure you use diluted or purified water in these. Also, Over time, you want to check them, make sure the water hasn't been sitting in there too long. Every 3 weeks or so, you do want to dump the water out if you can get in there, and just replace it with fresh water. In between waterings, it's also very good to kind of mist your Brahms. Like I mentioned, they can absorb nutrients through their leaves, so just getting them a little wet is nice too. As far as terrestrial Brahms go, you have that loose soil in there. You want to be cautious not to overwater. If you look, you can see that these Brahms have been let to dry out for some time, and that's very important for these. They're found in bright open areas, so you want to make sure you don't overwater them. Now, really cool thing about Brahms is that not only are they good for pets, they make very good accent plants. Our mounts can also be used in the home. They can also be used as accents around the house, inside or outside of your tank. So as far as propagation goes, after you've had your Brahm for about 3 to 5 years, they will start to send out offshoots or pups just like this. Sometimes people ask, when should you repot your Brahm? And I'm gonna say never. These Brahms are very low maintenance. They do not need much repotting, but when they do get to be 3 to 5 years old, they will start to send off these offshoots, and you will want to clip them. You can take sharp scissors and clip them right about here at their base. You can clip them right off the mother plant, and then those guys can either be mounted or they can be planted in soil. All right, so overall, Brahms are really cool plants that you cannot find everywhere. They're really awesome epiphytes. You can grow them in soil, or you can also mount them up just like that over there. They make really good hiding spots for small dart frogs. They make great for tadpole rearing. So hopefully you guys were inspired by these really cool plants here today. If you have any questions, you can visit our website. We have lots of different blogs and informational videos about how to take care of these plants. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thanks so much for watching this video. Here at Josh's Frogs, bringing nature to your doorstep is more than just our mission, it's our passion. We want you to have the most successful experience possible, so we're going to be here for you before, during, and after your purchase, whether that's with our captive-bred animals, plants, insects, or the wide variety of their care products on our website. You always have access to our dedicated customer service team, on-site nature experts, hundreds of free articles via our blog, and many more videos right here on our YouTube channel, so be sure to subscribe. We're always happy to help. Just shoot us an email or give us a call. You can find all of this information and more at joshsfrogs.com. Thanks again, and see you next time.